Hello everyone, my name is Haley. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. We talk about all things motherhood, toddlerhood, toddler play, toddler activities. I like to keep things really real and just conversational and just create a safe space for moms because it's hard out there. But today's video is a little bit different. We're just gonna do an honest chit-chat video. I'm just spilling my guts and how I feel because I feel like I've had all this stuff in my head and had no one to speak to about weighing the decision of expanding my family or not. And I feel like there's a lot of things that people don't talk about that go into this decision. You know, I'm not talking about logistic stuff like financial stuff or like space or whatever. So I want to really dive into these things that are actually deeper. And I'd love to know if you feel these things too, or let's have a discussion in the comments. It's the whole point of this video. So make sure you're subscribed really quick and then we'll get into it. But anyway, while I do that, I am doing one of my new hobbies, which is book bedazzling. So anyway, book bedazzle with me. It sounds so nerdy when I say it out loud. And let's discuss the reasons that nobody talks about that go into whether or not you should expand your family. So right now, for anyone new, I have two children. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. By this time, I would have had a third if we were doing like the same age gap as we did the first time. I'm not pregnant. I'm not trying to be pregnant. And so it's just interesting kind of being on this side of it, like farther down of an age gap than I was with my other two. To me, it's kind of making the decision harder. And I don't know if that is how everybody feels. And I also really, really want opinions. I feel like I'm probably not alone in feeling these things, but I feel alone because people don't discuss it. So anyway, it's a weird time because I have like half of me that feels really good. Like I'm becoming not the same as who I was before kids, but you know, I'm kind of coming out of this fog of just like being so thick into motherhood with babies and toddlers that, you know, you just kind of lose yourself and you're just so in that. Where now I'm kind of coming out of that, having a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. To me, it feels like it's going to be extra hard to then get pregnant again and go back into it. Whereas with my first two, I was overlapping breastfeeding and being pregnant and then breastfeeding. Yeah, my daughter was like out of a crib and we had tried to potty train her before my youngest was born. So it's not like those things overlapped where I have 2 in diapers and 2 in a crib. I didn't have that. But at the same time, I still feel like I had the playpen out and I had some toys that were like baby-ish out still. And now I don't have a playpen anymore. We still have a crib for my 2-year-old, but that's probably going to be going away at some point. He's potty trained. So we're slowly out of diapers, you know, we keep them at night. We put away like all the baby things. Whereas before I feel like, yeah, we might have put the baby things away, but we didn't like put them far away, you know, like these are like in storage. And I feel torn because part of me feels like I'm coming back to life. And then part of me feels like I don't know that I'm ready to like not have that again. But at the same time, I think it's going to be tougher for me if and when we would have another kid. So I'm curious if that's been other people's experiences or if people like the large age gap. I don't think people talk about this mental pull of you feel like you're coming up for air a little bit and then you're gonna get back into it. Another thing I don't think people talk about, I'm gonna swap into this book. I'm doing 2 books at one time, same book. But another thing I don't think people talk about is mentally, like it's really draining being a mother 24/7. I love it more than anything in the world. I would not give it up. And again, like I am potentially considering having more children, but it is really, really hard mentally. And again, I don't think this is everyone's experience, but it's hard for me. I get really anxious when my kids leave the house, even though like I can leave them. We've gone on a trip without my kids. My kids actually right now are with my parents at the beach for a day. So it's like I can do that, but they say your heart is living outside your body when you have kids. And I 1000% feel that. And I feel like I'm sure that only gets harder with more, you know? There's a beauty in that. But that is something that I feel like people don't talk about. Adding one more to that, or, you know, the more you add to that is your heart is just in so many pieces outside of your body and out of your control. Additionally, my son has a food allergy and it's been very hard on him, on us. I mean, probably more on us at this point because he's still really little, but it's really hard on me. I feel really nervous and anxious. I can easily spiral to worry about his future and being scared for him. And I'd be lying if I said I'm concerned. Like, what if I have another kid with an allergy? It's really difficult, and I don't know if I can do that again. So that is weighing on me. And This next one's interesting because I feel like I did feel this way going from 1 to 2, but I don't know why. I feel like it's harder or it feels heavier for me. I don't want my kids to feel any less loved. And I know I don't feel like I'm any less capable of loving if we brought in another one. It was a hard transition on my daughter when we brought my son home. And I know she feels loved, and I know now we're in a good place, but I just get worried that would happen again to her. She would have a really tough time, and then also that my son would have a tough time. And it's like, I know that they would eventually get it, and that should not be a reason to not have more children, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't something that I thought about. Like, I worry if it's an odd number. Will one kid feel left out? Right now we have a boy and a girl. Whether that's this third one feels left out because the age gap is bigger than the first two, or if I have a boy that my daughter feels left out, or if I have a girl that my son feels left out. And I don't want to do that to them. Can we talk about how hard it is to not feel pressure about age as women? Like, I don't know why. Even though I know that women are having babies older and that I do have time, it's still hard to not feel like I don't have time. And I hate that. And I also hate that this age gap thing is really kind of getting to me. I need to just know and move forward with the fact that, yeah, the age gap is bigger than it was in my first two because that ship has sailed, right? Like, it's gonna be bigger because that time has passed, and that's okay, and it's still beautiful. But anyway, I'd love to hear thoughts because these are hard decisions and we shouldn't have to make them alone. And I think that these are the fears and the things that I think about. They're not based in anything, but I think that these are the real things that people don't discuss when they are considering expanding their family or when they're talking about it. It's like people just think it's such an easy decision. Like, oh, are you gonna have more kids? There's so much to unpack there, and I wish that more people discussed these things because it's really important. So anyway, I don't want this to be like a downer of a video, and I got no bedazzling done so far. This is what happens when I do let's chat while I do something. It's always such a fail because I just talk and then I don't do anything else that I'm doing. So I need to get better at apparently multitasking and doing videos, but I think it's because I want to talk to the camera and I just get so focused on what I'm doing and what I'm saying. But anyway, one of the big things is logistics for us. Financially, the space, like all those things are very, very valid. I understand why those are the things that people talk about when discussing expanding a family. I just think that these other things, like our mental health matters, and sometimes I think that it literally can be a decision of like, I'm not in a place to have another kid, and I feel like people don't think about that or discuss that, and I wish that they did. So anyway, I feel like that was a rambling tangent of a video, but I love having these honest conversations and I want more of those. So make sure you hit subscribe. I have some really great content coming up, especially my third in my potty training series. So if you have a potty training toddler, or if you know you're about to potty train, I highly suggest you check out video 1 and 2 and then subscribe so you make sure you don't miss video number 3, which is coming.